We're going to apply our percent grid to a problem, and it's the same problem we looked at before. A company had $360 in profits. Manny earned 65% of the profits. How much money did Manny earn for the company? Well, here's our percent grid, but it's not filled in. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to create a mathematical model for this problem using parts of the percent grid. That mathematical model is going to be an equation. So let's look at what we have. Here we have 100%. 100% of the profits is $360. So we're going to put 360 here. The percent of the profits we want to find is 65%, which is right here, 65 out of 100. The answer to our problem is going to be the number that is related to 65. But we don't know what that number is. So we're going to represent that number by the letter M for money. So now we have 65 is in the same position below 100 as M is in the same position below 360. And let's write that out. So 65 is in the same position below 100 as M is in the same position below 360. So now we have two ratios. 100 is to 65 and 360 is to M. And we want those ratios to help us solve the problem. Well, those ratios are equal because the position of 65 and M are in the same position on the grid. So our equation is going to be 360 over M equals 100 over 65. So now let's solve this equation. To solve this equation, the first thing we do is we multiply both sides of the equation by 65 and by M. So let's rewrite the equation. And multiply both sides of the equation by 65 and by M. On the left-hand side, we have M over M, which we know is 1. So that what's going to be left is 65 times 360. On the right-hand side, we have 65 over 65, which we know is 1. So we're going to have 100M left. When we calculate 360 times 65, we get an answer of 23,400. On the right-hand side, we still have 100M. So what we do now is we divide both sides by 100. We divide the left-hand side by 100, and we divide the right-hand side by 100. When we divide 23,400 by 100, we get 234. When we divide 100M by 100, we get M. So we have M is equal to 234. Now, what was M representing? M was representing the amount that 65% was of 360. In other words, the amount that Manny earned for the company. So in this case, then, we can say that Manny earned $234 for the company. And what we did in doing this was we found 65% of 360. We set up a ratio of 100 over 65. We set a ratio of 360 over M because that represented the amount of money that Manny earned. And when we solved the proportion, we found that M was equal to 234, and that was the amount of money that Manny earned. So Manny earned $234 for the company.